This is Carl. No one knows it yet, but Carl is a math prodigy. One ordinary day, his teacher handed out a worksheet for the class to silently work on for the next hour while she caught up on grading papers. However, just 5 minutes in, she looked up to notice young Carl raising his hand.
Yes, Carl?
She asked.
I'm finished.
He replied.
All right, bring it here.
She said, trying to mask her irritation.
Yeah, it looks like you got them all correct.
What was supposed to be an ordinary day is now disrupted by this precocious child. Instead of being able to focus on grading papers, this teacher now needs to come up with something for young Carl to do. After thinking about it for a little bit, she comes up with an elegant solution. She tells Carl,
Add together all the numbers from 1 to 100.
She's very pleased with her question. This is the kind of problem that would even take a while to finish herself. Finally, she will be able to have some silence and can get back to grading papers undisturbed. Except, 2 minutes later, she sees Carl's hand raised again.
Now what?
She said, now barely able to restrain her frustration.
I'm finished with this too.
Unfortunately, there are no good outcomes to this story. The teacher did not expect to have a gifted student, so she was unprepared when asking him to add together all the numbers from 1 to 100. She is already annoyed that he isn't letting her focus on grading papers and that she had to create extra work for him to do. Now that he is coming back again saying that he is done already, the only two possibilities are that he's a liar and didn't actually do the work, or that he actually is a prodigy and will make her look like a fool for not knowing the answer. Things are getting worse and worse for young Carl for no other reason aside from doing what he was told to do. This story was about real mathematician Carl Gauss, but I'm sure you can relate if you were a gifted child. You know firsthand the unprovoked irritation from your teachers, which caused the excitement for learning to drain away from you. What you didn't know at the time was that your teacher was irritated because you did what you were told, but you didn't do what you were supposed to do. You were told to work on the problems, but what you were supposed to do was be busy so she wouldn't have to pay attention to you. She was trying to focus on grading papers, but you took her away from that by being faster than expected in your work. It wasn't your fault, but you were punished for it. Your giftedness was her inconvenience. The more insidious act happens when the second attempt also fails to restrain you because she was proud of that one. Her ego is now on the line, bringing into question her legitimacy over you in the first place. What began as an irritation has now transformed into something personal, and this is why your teachers resented you. She meant to put you in your place, and her failure to do so meant you were being defiant, when all you were doing was exactly what you were being asked to do. Young Carl did this when he realized that instead of adding 1 plus 2 plus 3 and so on, he could add 1 plus 100, which is 101, 2 plus 99, which is also 101, 3 plus 98, which is also 101, and so on. Since there were 50 such pairs between 1 and 100, he could easily calculate the sum by multiplying 101 by 50, which is 5,050. He saw something that his teacher didn't see and had knowledge of something that wasn't taught, inadvertently reversing the power dynamic to be above his teacher. So, when he quickly said he finished a second time, the teacher could only assume that he was a liar or that he was trying to make her out to be a fool. It is easier to blame a child and maintain her sense of superiority than admit to her failings, so she blames the child. He is the problem, not me. He is the one trying to make me look like a fool. He is the one interrupting me from what I want to do. He thinks he is better than me, so I need to put him in his place. These are the subconscious thoughts that fester in the psyche of a teacher who is unable to face her inadequacies. And some of them may be perfectly understandable and forgivable. It is impossible to manage a class of 30+ students if they are all going at different paces. There are standards that she's being held to, limiting her ability to go faster or slower for those with different abilities. She as a person may not know everything all the time, even when compared to a child, and that's okay. But when a teacher refuses to consciously accept those limitations, she begins to resent the students that cause her to confront them, gradually poisoning her view of those students. Teachers secretly resent gifted students because they reveal that the teacher is not always superior to the student, and that knowledge does not always come from the teacher. The teacher has lost some power, so she resents the child for it.